Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Of course, coming up here, we have Season 3 dropping for Warzone 2, MW2, and DMZ. This is obviously going to be very impactful for all modes and just the game in general. Every single seasonal update is important. It's bringing in new content, new gameplay updates, bug fixes, weapon changes, all sorts of stuff like that. But Season 3 this year for Warzone 2 and MW2 is vital to the game's success. Obviously, we all jumped into this year expecting a lot. The game is titled MW2. The expectations were high. The bar was set very high, right? And throughout the past couple of months, a lot of the time things have fallen short of those expectations. The game being very unstable for the first couple of months, the content being very lackluster, a lot of things in certain ways feeling very much so like steps backwards instead of steps forwards. And most recently, this has been highlighted by the fact that everything that has to do with MW2 and Warzone 2 seems to be on a decline. The interest in the overall games on social media, whether it's Twitch streams or YouTube videos or interactions on various other platforms. The actual player count has reached new all-time lows since launch, according to the Steam charts. Clearly, things are not trending in the perfect direction, and initially, things were supposed to start to turn around with Season 2. That update was supposed to be, hey, we know things are in a rough state right now. We're going to try our best to turn things around and set things up to trend upwards. And in certain capacities, yes, Season 2 did help a lot. The stability does feel a little bit better. Multiplayer finally got a brand new map. It's rough that we have to say that that's a good thing after so many months of the game being launched, but that's a good example of the state that we're in, which is why Season 3 is so important. We're close, but still a ways away from the next Call of Duty, right? This fall is close in the grand scheme of things, but when you're sitting here playing this game often, it still feels very far away. We've got all of Season 3 to go through, all of Season 4 to go through, all of Season 5 to go through, until we get to what currently is still a large question mark in Call of Duty 2023, that rumored expansion game, if you will, to stack on top of Modern Warfare 2. So Season 3's got a lot weighing on it. It really is going to be the deciding factor in a lot of ways. Season 2 was like a, all right, let's see what you got kind of season. Season 3 is going to be, well, I'm either going to continue to play the game now because it seems like you've made drastic improvements in these certain areas that I was concerned about, or I'm gonna find something else to occupy my time that's not nearly as, I guess, disappointing in certain regards, but frustrating to want to continue to support when you constantly see one thing get fixed very quickly. Like, for instance, let's say the sniping meta. Obviously, it's a huge part of gameplay across multiplayer and Warzone, but Warzone specifically here doesn't really have a sniping meta this year. There's been a lot of conversation about how that could be changing in the future, various leaks and rumors regarding that. We obviously just had the crazy broken one-shot sniper for the St. Patrick's Day event, but when sniping is at such a low point, if you will, in this current meta, and we have something in game glitch that allows snipers to be one shot, and that's fixed in a couple of days time, whereas weapons like the RPK and the RAL and the Fennec ran the meta for like 2.5-3 months straight without seeing changes. That's obviously, as you know, a fan of sniping, a little bit disappointing and kind of feels like a slap in the face. When you have general gameplay problems that stop players from playing, where your game is constantly crashing or certain things aren't tracking with camo challenges or the nuke contracts and stuff like that, it's rough. When your favorite playlist is constantly being removed every other week, whether it's third person in Warzone or the 10v10 mosh pit in multiplayer, you might be less inclined to play during that week, and then you don't see it again the next week, and it's like, well, I'm actually having more fun on this game where I can play the modes that I want to play consistently, right? So there's been a lot of frustrations, a lot of issues with all modes right now, whether it's multiplayer or Warzone or DMZ. But Season 3 does bring with it a lot of potential, right? For Warzone, we have some very highly requested things finally set to come to the game. Plunder, for those free-to-play players who want to casually be able to rank up their guns a little bit quicker or go for camo challenges or test things out. They don't have to own multiplayer to do that any longer. Or maybe you're someone who likes Battle Royale, but you prefer to have that more casual experience where you can explore the map and go looting, and it's not as hardcore as Battle Royale gameplay is. You die once, you're in that gulag, that could be the end of the game for you, right? So Plunder, that's going to be a huge update that could potentially bring back a large audience. Also, Warzone Ranked. At long last, this has been something players have been wanting for quite literally years now, dating all the way back to the early days of Verdansk on Warzone 1. Players wanted ranked to separate casual lobbies from, competitive lobbies, to give players a reason to grind, go for wins, to place high in matches. It's a completely different gameplay experience. It should also clear up some of what public matches are now, which is a constant sweat fest, right? It's going to be a beneficial update for the entire game if it doesn't fall flat. And that's why Season 3 is such a make or break update for so many players. If ranked drops and it is just plagued by cheaters because it's a free-to-play experience, it's going to turn a lot of people away, right? If ranked drops but the grind incentives aren't really there, or the gameplay mechanics are kind of weird and not really super enjoyable, that's going to turn a lot of players away from the game. If Plunder drops and it's wildly changed for no reason from Warzone 1, that could turn a lot of players away from the game. So on the Warzone side of things, yeah, a lot is riding on Season 3, and a lot is riding on these specific updates that could have serious implications on the game's future. Multiplayer also has its own story going on here. And as we get into this conversation, quick reminder, if you guys are new here, every day I got you covered with the latest news, updates, meta conversations, everything like that you'll find right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button to always stay up to date. And if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. Now, just like Warzone, multiplayer has a lot riding on it here too. Multiplayer really has fallen off a lot since launch. There was so much hype at the start of the game, but then the multiplayer updates have just been very lackluster. Minimal content for maps. We didn't have a new map in the game, an actual new map, for months, right? The mode selection has been a bit controversial. The way that the gameplay feels compared to older CODs, specifically MW 2019, the predecessor here, has driven a lot of players away. But in Season 3, we're going to see Gunfight finally debut, something that, regardless of how the movement feels or the guns feel or whatever the case may be, is kind of its own thing and attracts its own kind of audience, and that's been missing up until this point, despite being a core thing for the past couple of years. Obviously, in Vanguard, it was a bit different with Champions Hill, but the premise is still there. That gunfight style mode is something a lot of players have seriously wanted, and that's finally happening. Just like Ranked and Plunder, though, if they botch it in some way, if they fumble the bag here per se, could drive a lot of players away. That could be the nail in the coffin. All right, was really holding out for Gunfight and it's not here. I think it's time for me to hang it up. I'll go and spend my time playing Battlefield or playing Rainbow Six or whatever the case may be. Overall, the content offerings are great, right? Yes, it's going to be cool to see some new weapons and see some new maps here and there, but the gameplay dynamics of all modes here, DMZ, it needs the grind incentives. It needs fresh updates to keep things feeling unique and new. Warzone needs updates that's going to keep the game feeling energized and actually caters to all players and all different kinds of play styles. Multiplayer needs frequent updates that keep players engaged. Season 3 has the potential for sure. I don't think there's any denying that. But the execution here is going to be so important that, without a doubt in my mind, Season 3 is the most important update to MW2 and Warzone 2. Yet there is a ton riding on the impact of this update, whether it's success or not. We're gonna have to wait and see. That being said, though, that is gonna wrap things up for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications to always stay up to date with all things going on in COD. And as always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code IMMORTAL on all Gamer Advantage, G Fuel, and Control Freak products, and the links for all those can be found down below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.